So, before I get started, you guys can look in the box below for the link to the episode on Crunchyroll. And this episode, Kisei sits out for the vast majority of the game. And the reason why is because of Hayazaki. Now, I think in episode 1, episode 2, Hayazaki, well, that team against Kaijo, Hayazaki, he stepped on Kisei's foot. And the dude was rough. And he suffered an injury from that. And beforehand, Kisei was already suffering the effects. I remember the inner high and how his knees were already buckling. And he was suffering from, overworking when it came to the inner high at the end against Almine. Well, now we see an accumulation of overworking and injuries, and that has affected Kisei in this game. And they really need Kisei. However, even though Kisei is down and out, the boys in blue are not. The boys in blue! Whoa! Fucking Kaijo coming in there with this other guy with the specs. I forgot what his name was, but apparently his middle school was like top 8 in like defense. I'm like, shit. Oh no, I'm sorry, not in defense, but they were best 8 overall. And their school was known for defense, so he's a great defensive player. And even though Kagami, he stepped his game up, obviously, and he's breaking through double teams, and he's just dunking on dudes. And the best animation in the entire episode was like that one scene where Kagami, he's going for a dunk, and then the dude's like, "Ugh," and then he sees Teppei behind him, so he's like, yeah, and then Teppei's like, oh, he got the ball, like, oh shit, Teppei, like he, scored it in. But either way, that being said, you have the boys in blue without Kisei actually hammer it home. And they're still neck and neck with Satan, despite the fact that Kagami is pretty much going all out. And you have an uncrowned king like Teppei. Now, what was also a testament to their skill was how Katsumatsu, no one has been able to shut down the Phantom Shot with the exception of Kisei, but he has a perfect fucking copy, and it's like unfair as fuck. However, Katsumatsu, who's not Generation Miracle level, who's not even Uncrowned King level, he was able to stop the Phantom Shot. Even Murasaki Bara couldn't stop it. He realized, wait a second, it's misdirection, take a back step, okay, alright, fine. So I can see everything, and then I can just block it, because it was perceived to be a very high arcing shot, but in reality, it's actually a much lower arcing shot. And what's also very important to note is the fact that Seirin has already played Kaijo. So Kaijo are used to Seirin's, they're used to Kuroko's misdirection. They've gotten accustomed to it. So the only way they could actually beat, if Kuroko would overuse his misdirection, they would catch on to it, and his skills wouldn't work as well. So the only way to actually beat them in that case would be to use the overflow, the misdirection overflow. And they can't afford to do that, because once it happens, it's like set in stone that it's not going to work ever again, misdirection, on that particular team. So, fact of the matter here is that they want to avoid that. And even though they want to avoid that, Katsumatsu, regardless, shut down the Phantom Shot, so props to him. Finally, you have, when it comes to that story standpoint, Katsumatsu's a senior, Kisei's a freshman, and you have to know your role. You know what I mean? It happens all the time. All right, when it comes to school sports, whether it be middle school, high school, college, it's like the seniors, they're respected, they've contributed a lot to this team and to the school, and you have to respect that, especially a team as renowned as Kaijo. So the fact of the matter here is that even though Kisei, he wants to argue, he says, I'm the only one that can actually beat Kagami at this point in time. Everyone knows that. It doesn't matter. There's a system. But you have to have faith in your senpais, who can get the job done, because they clearly can, because they're actually neck and neck with Seirin at this point in time. So it is what it is in that case. And that whole senpai mentality that Katsumatsu had the entire time, it was for an obvious reason. So, that being said, the animation overall was okay. I'll be honest, if you compare it to the previous game between Rakuza and Shutoku, the animation in that game was amazing. In this particular match between Kaijo and Satan, at this point in time, it's been okay. Nowhere near the animation of the previous game, which is unfortunate. So animation okay. Pacing, I think we're on the third quarter right now. And it's still a close game between Kaijo and Satan. But right now, Kisei is on the bench, and God knows how long they can hold on without Kisei. Finally, when it comes to characterization, I would mainly go for... I mean, the guy with the specs, I don't think he's that relevant to the overall series of Kuroko's basketball, so he can be ignored. And it's mainly Kasamatsu. It's confirmation of Kisei and his wound. And it's Kagami stepping up when... I mean, even when, you know, Kuroko wasn't there, Kagami kind of like just cut loose and he just pretty much spanked. So, you know, more affirmation that he is, in fact, on that level of Generation Miracle. So that's it. So I am done. And next week, because my copyright strikes are finally gone from fucking Daisuke. Daisuke! Oh no. Because they're finally done, they're gone, I probably do a live reaction next week. So, that being said, the King Lightning, rate the video, comment, subscribe. And for forewarning, the clip footage you're going to see in that live reaction next week, I'm going to edit it heavy. Some way, somehow, I'm going to edit it heavy. So, I'm giving you guys a warning now. So when next week comes along, don't be surprised if you see some funky shit going on. Just saying. So the episode rating overall is going to be a OK+, and I'll leave it at that. So rate the video, comment, subscribe. Have a nice one.